Hello, hello, this is Jennifer with Scissors and Love. This is for Avery, and she asked if I could show her how to make this card. So what we're going to do is make this card, but I'm going to show you how to transfer it into more of a masculine card. The technique is the same either way, but this way you'll know how to do it for male or female. Okay. What I've done is pre-cut the paper that we're going to need for this project. And don't worry about trying to keep up with any of the measurements, because I will have all of your measurements on the blog post, and I will link the blog post in the video description below, which I'm sure you've heard 100 times. Right now we've got a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch note card. This is a pre-purchased one. You can get these at just about every craft store. Normally I prefer to make my own cards, but since this is a first tutorial and it's really meant for people who don't typically make their own cards, we're going to do this really simply, the easiest way I can think of. So we've got 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We also have a piece of foil paper. This is actually from the DCWV foil card set. This is going to measure 4 inches across by 5 1/4 inches. This is what's known as a mat. We're going to put this right here on top of that note card, and it's going to make a beautiful gold wavy mat. Now, next, you're going to need a piece of white cardstock. And this cardstock actually measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I'm going to need 2 squares. Now, confession time, I did use my Spellbinders die cutting machine to cut these 2 squares, but you could very easily just measure and cut a square. Squares are not hard, they're squares. Pretty simple stuff. The gold square, which matches the gold foil backing, right here, it's cut from exactly the same paper. This measures 1 3/4 inch by 1 3/4 inch. Imagine that. It's a square. Alright, simple stuff, right? So we've got one last piece of white cardstock square, and that is 1 1/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches. Alright. What we're going to do first is gather up our stamps. Now we want this to be a happy birthday card, right? So what I've done is pulled out just a happy birthday stamp. I'm going to be using 3 different colored inks today because, again, we do have happy birthday stamped in different colored inks. So the ink colors I'm going to be using today are by Lawn Fawn, and they are Doe, Walnut, and Storm Cloud. So we're just going to take our little ink pad here, and we're going to lightly tap the ink onto our happy birthday stamp. You're going to take your stamp, and you're just going to stamp happy birthday right about there. Works for me. And we're going to take our Storm Cloud again. Now the next time we throw this stamp down on here, I'm actually going to make it off center, right? The goal is actually to cut some of the words off. So let's throw that, sure, why not, right here. We're going to do this a couple of more times, and then we will take a baby wipe, clean off our stamp, and start with another color. So we have finished with our Storm Cloud. So let's move on to Walnut. That's our next darkest color. And let's slide that in right here. Now you can do this with any word stamp. I have probably 10 different happy birthday stamps and sentiments. I just really wanted this particular one for this project because it's nice and bold and blocky. And I think that lends really, really well to sort of that masculine feeling. Let's see, where does this want to be? Let's make that right there. So let me just take a quick second while I'm doing this and say thank you very much to whoever decided to pop in and watch this video. Like I said, it is my first one, so bear with me. I hope you'll have patience. Don't judge too harshly. I figure the best way for me to do this is just kind of jump in and learn as I go, and I hope you will kind of come along on my journey. Oop, drop that one. Alright, let's see. Let's do some day. Yeah, we'll just make it a day. Not a birthday, just a day. Alright, let's throw a day right in here. Now we're going to move on to our lightest color, which is dough. Yes, I stamped little hearts because it makes me happy. And so, with our lightest colors, we're just going to come through here and kind of fill in those empty spots, right? So, right there, I think. Yeah. Let's do a little bit of happy times. Okay, so it looks like we got more ha than hap, but it's working. Yeah. This particular project is very forgiving in that if your lines aren't straight, it's all good. Unless you're giving it to somebody, you know, that's really important to. But when we're finished, everything will work out. It won't seem too funky. It'll all work. Yeah. Did I just drop that? I bet I just dropped that. I want to apologize for the lighting situation. It's kind of crummy outside. We're getting ready for some more snow at the beach, of all places. Yep, that's happening. And so it's, you know, it's just yuck and overcast, and I actually have 3 different light sources going right now, and it's still dark and shadowy. So, you know, we kind of just have to go with the flow, take it as it is. Alright, I think that's good. So now we're done with our sentiment. So we're going to take this and off of here, and I'm going to remove my little scratch paper. Actually, I spoke too soon. We need to bring back our scratch paper because we still have a touch more stamping to do. Just one more thing. So let's bring in our little, this is the little white cardstock square. Alright, so we are good for that. And on this square, we're going to stamp our little gift. Just like the original, the example here, this little gift. So we're going to come in and we're going to stamp our gift. Now for this, I just use basic black Memento ink. And it's just a good, solid dye-based ink, and it doesn't run and it dries really quickly. And again, you're just lightly tapping your ink on. So I'm going to place that in the center and just press it on. Super easy, straight on, straight off. And now we have our gift. Now this is totally optional. You can put some glitter in the bows. I did that with this one. It's completely up to you. I'm going to skip it because this is supposed to be a masculine card. But, you know, if you wanted to do that, perfectly fine. Alright, so that's the end of our stamping, I promise. So now we're just about finished, believe it or not. What we're going to do now is bring in all of our pieces. You see I've got my gold foil mat. I've got my gold foil square. My smaller white square. My white mat. And I've got my black card base. Okay? So now we're just going to attach everything. And this is super easy. I'm just going to use some adhesive roll. You could use sticky tape. You could use a wet adhesive. Use what you've got. You know, use what's easiest for you and what you prefer. Okay. So, just going to put some adhesive down on here. And I'm going to center this right here in, right about the middle. Okay. Super easy. Oops. We're going to take our white base, or our white mat, excuse me, and we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to put adhesive right on the back of it. We're going to center that one. Again, just eyeball it. It does not need to be perfect. Alright, so you've got your black card base, your gold foil, and your white stamped piece. Okay? Now, you're going to bring in larger of your two squares. Since those waves are going up and down, I think just for a little bit of visual interest, I'm going to turn it on its side so that the waves go opposite. And you just really need to figure out where you want to put it. You know what? This little section kind of bugs me, so I think I'm going to put it right here. And guess what? More adhesive. Pop that puppy wherever you want it. You have two options with this. You can either glue it down flat, like I've just done, or you can use some foam tape and pop it up just a little bit to give it some dimension so that it sticks up a little bit off the top of the card. Now, when you're deciding which of those things you want to do, keep in mind how you plan on delivering this card, okay? If you're hand delivering it, you know, it's not going to be a big deal if this has dimension on it because you won't be paying postage. But if you are mailing it, that extra dimension, it's going to require possibly a larger envelope, and you might be paying more in postage because it will make the card slightly heavier. So just keep that in mind when you're deciding how you want to go about attaching this. Alright, one last step. Do you want to try to guess what we're going to do? Yep, adhesive. Let's just put that right in the center of our gold square. And that's it. You know, you've got this beautiful but very simple card. Great for a masculine birthday. You know, definitely you can stamp an extra sentiment on the inside, or you can leave it blank without a sentiment and, you know, just write in a nice little handwritten note. You know, and a handmade card with a nice little note in it really, really would brighten somebody's day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Keep coming back, and I'll keep working on new projects and new tutorials. Thanks so much. Have a great day.